What a harrowing business. My gosh, when electronics works, they work, and when they don't work, it's crap. I'm trying to be calm right now. You have to understand that Google wouldn't accept my camera for some reason or other, my camera and microphone. And I've been messing with that for the last 15 minutes. It's not fun, like for like all of a sudden something not to work. So I decided to use Edge. Edge is working. So now I open my account on Edge. Hi, my name is Rochelle, and I have a blog called Feeding a Crowd and a online thrift store called Lucky Finds Thrift Shop, which I love. I love both of them. The thrift shop is it can pay for the blog itself, because darn it, websites don't pay for themselves, especially when you don't have ads, which I don't have ads. So you can find all my recipes without ads, and you can easily print them. So again, welcome to Feeding a Crowd on this lovely Sunday. Yeah, lovely Sunday. It's fall, and I love fall. When it's not as hot and as humid. I am also on Instagram under Rochelle Fortin. I am on Facebook and Pinterest. Getting a lot of interest on Pinterest. Not funny, Pinterest interest. There you go. And so that's always nice. So today is all about tomatoes and tomato safety. I learned so much by doing this, guys. It blows my mind how much I learned because of all the things I've done using, by making when I made jams and chutneys and everything like that, right? But there is a lot of safety when it comes to canning tomatoes, and I think it's important that we share that. Now I think I lost the people that were coming in to listen to me, which makes me super sad because I was super excited about this. But I guess, it's not going to happen. I am so, so, so sorry. Let's see if, if I can get them to come over to this new chat. But it doesn't seem so, which sucks. It just sucks, that I was going to be talking to people, and now I have a new chat, and they're not there. So, okay, here we are. So I have a lot of tomatoes from my garden, and I planted mostly Roma. So they have almost no water to them, and they're great for canning. San Marzano tomatoes are like that also. And behind me, you can see some of the canned tomatoes. Here cooking, again, behind me, I have two sauces. This one is super hot, and this one is going to be just nice and herby, which I'll be canning also or freezing, because I feel that both is good, except that when the electricity runs out, whatever's in the freezer gets iffy. For the first time, I made passata. So this is tomato puree. I did not do it the traditional way, okay? These are just tomatoes, pureed tomatoes, nothing else. First time. I do not want to remove the skins from the tomatoes. Hi, welcome to Feeding a Crowd, where we're talking about tomatoes and the safety of canning tomatoes and the beauty and, deliciousness of tomatoes. I was just showing the tomato puree that I made yesterday. It's absolutely a beautiful red. It's awesome, and it tastes nice. Here I have a spicy sauce. It's not that spicy, but it's a bit spicy. So I like to make sauces. Again, I do not remove the skins. Why don't I remove the skins? Because I'm lazy. Blink, blink. No. I do not like removing parts of vegetables, except like the core when you have to, right? And I feel the peels are as good as the inside. So yes, passata is only made with the meat of the tomato. However, I don't like peeling, so none of my tomato products have peeled tomatoes. This one is an herby sauce, so basically use doing anything. These are well popped, super nice. And I have quite a few of these too. So there. And I made something that was absolutely mind blowing. I made tomato candy. It's not true. It's not really candy. I call it candy, but it's not candy. That's silly. I also roasted tomatoes, which I'm going to add to some of the sauces behind me. So I dehydrated tomatoes, and this is like candy. It's absolutely sweet and delicious. So basically, it's like sun-dried tomatoes, but these are still a bit soft. I have some there that are completely crispy dry. Those will keep a lot longer. These I will have to use within the next week. So I'm going to make myself an olive, caper, and sun-dried tomato. Probably put tuna in it. Pasta. It's absolutely delicious. If you're not sure, how do I keep them red, bright red like this instead of like a dark brown? I soak them in 1 part lemon juice to 8 part water before laying them out on my dehydrating grills. So delicious. Not everyone likes them. Also, just today, because I haven't talked about everything else from my garden, but I'm a bit flustered now because of what happened, right? Because I wanted to be here 15 minutes ago and I wasn't, which sucks. So from my garden, because I'll be making hot sauces next week. Yellow cayenne pepper. This is a mild banana pepper. This is a hot red cayenne pepper that is not yet red, but I wanted to take it out to show you. These are different shapes, so I don't know what this one is, but I know this is a piment denede, so Neyde. This is made to make the Carolina Reaper, which I have here. Carolina Reaper. They're good friends. I'll be making hot sauces with these. The hot peppers this year are just booming. They're having a really good year, I think, due to the heat and humidity. So enough about peppers. Let's go back to the safety of tomatoes. So in discovering this, I thought that because I was making a sauce and I cooked it down for 2 hours, that it was safe to can. So I went to a chat GPT and it disabused me of my notion really fast. Apparently I made it worse because it's the acidity that makes food shelf stable. New word for me, shelf stable. Everything what that we can today has to be shelf stable. It is always better to use a pressure cooker, which I don't have. I was all happy to get myself this big thing here, right? That's just the beginning if I want to take canning seriously. So you do have to still put lemon juice in every jar. So it's usually 1 tablespoon per big jar and 1 teaspoon or so in the smaller jars, right? So I found that out, and that's make it shelf stable because the how much acid or acidity, not acid, acidity in your can is super duper important. And who knew? Also, so I thought I don't have to boil it. It's been boiling for 2 hours. Like, why would I need to boil it? Well, too bad, so sad. I had to still boil them for usually the big jar is 40 minutes. I'm not taking chances. I'm going for 40 minutes. I don't want botulism in any of my food. So discovered that, so me being a smartass, I was not that smart at all. But then it is my first time. I've watched my mom do this for summers, every summer. At the end of the summer, we had a garden that was like 40 feet by 100 feet. Man, did we have to weed that garden once a week. It was on Friday mornings. It was like 2-3 hours. We all had our rows or assigned rows, and we had to weed. And this was not like easy dirt. This was not the dirt you buy in the store. It was clay. The weeds did not come out. Anyways, so, and she would can. My dad had made her a setup outside, so she didn't heat up the house, and she would can a lot of tomatoes and carrots. I think she did green beans or yellow beans. I don't know, but we never liked that. I don't remember her doing beets either, but I remember carrots and I remember tomatoes. But I want to can more than carrots and tomatoes. So, this year I'm just tipping my toes into this and loving the sauces. Why am I making sauces instead of just canning tomatoes? Because I'm lazy. I believe in the 80-20% method, where you put all, the 80% of the effort. So at the end, you only have 20% left to do, right? So put the effort at the beginning. It's just like kids. You put the effort when they're young so that when they become teenagers, you got 20% left. That's a really good analogy, people. Take it seriously. So yeah, so let's talk safety because that's what I said we do. Um, do, 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 do. Okay, so a few things. Um, if you wonder why am I using Roma Italian or San Marzano tomatoes, it's because not all tomatoes are created equal, especially for canning. Juicy slicing tomatoes like beefsteak or heirloom, which I have, contain a lot of water, which means you'll spend much longer cooking them down to get a thick sauce. While Roma Italian or San Marzano tomatoes, on the other hand, are paste tomatoes, okay? They're naturally meatier and fewer seeds and far less water, and that makes them cook down quickly into a rich, thick sauce. So if you only have juicy tomatoes, which I've had, it doesn't matter. You just simmer them for longer to get the extra liquid out. Okay. When preparing your jars, remember to sterilize the jars and the lids. Usually, I like right now my jars are all in the dishwasher without soap. They're on like a hot, fast wash, and then they're going to stay in there hot. So it's like I have an hour of like drying them, but in fact, just keeping them super hot until I use them. The lids and the caps, I'm going to just pour hot boiling water in it about 10 minutes before I use it. That makes sense, people? That's how I do it. You don't flip the jars for anything savory. My mom used to do that for jams and stuff like that, but that's it. You don't do that for savory, for like tomatoes. Also, remember that when you do pour hot water over the lids and caps, to put everything else you're going to be using, right? Including the funnel, the ladle, and anything else. All right? Because you don't want one thing to go wrong after all the work that you've done. Um, so, I'm trying to think of something, to find some. So, so I just puree mine, by the way, to get that with like I don't know how to call them, a whizzer. But yeah, one of those things. I could use my food processor, but there's so much sauce, it would take me another 40 minutes. And like I told you guys, I'm lazy, so not doing that. Hey, don't forget to say hi if you want. Hi, and like me, like thumbs up. YouTube likes that a lot, and so do I. So let's try to do that. I'm going to put this link here. Also, that's to my blog. And I'm going to put this link here. Don't forget that my shop is on Etsy and on my website, okay? The website is a lot for, thank you for the thumbs up. I super appreciate it. And I'm looking for something. Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks. Why am I not getting? Why am I not getting? Oh, you know what? Also, I'm not getting what I want. It's like I'm looking for something and I'm not finding it. It's so weird. I worked so hard to come here today, and because nothing worked as I wanted, I'm there. So let's talk safety. So why safety matters? Tomatoes are naturally high in acid, which usually makes them perfect for simple water back canning. But when you start adding extras like onion, garlic, pepper, zucchini, the acidity level drops, and that's when bacteria, like the kind that causes botulism, can sneak in the jars if the jars aren't handled correctly. The good news, by following safe recipes and proper processing times, you can enjoy all the flavors of your garden without worry, which is my thing. So that's why it matters. There's ways of doing this, and you have to do it. You do have to sterilize everything, and you do have to give them a water bath. It is better to have a pressure cooking pot, but I don't, and I'm not ready for that. I'm just not ready for that. I think that there's something a little bit scary about a pressure. I've used one, I've used them, but it's not. I'm just not used to it. That makes sense. I just don't have that confidence right now in myself. So, which sucks. We should all be confident in the stuff we do. So, do you have any questions? I feel like I'm talking too fast. It's like I feel like breathe. Hi. So, just on a small aside, I have quite a few new items on my Lucky Finds thrift shop that you can find on the website and on Etsy. But the website first, if you're Canadian especially. You can also pick up from my store, so you don't have to pay the shipping fees. I have absolutely nice new pots. I have one that's going to come out. I don't even, it's almost like a creuset, but not a creuset. It's not that brand. And it's got a nice lid and it's red. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I also have like baking dishes, really nice vintage baking dishes that I'll be adding to the thrift shop and at really good prices. I mean, I have something that is worth between 200 and 400 US, and I'm selling it for 150. And it's a silly lasagna dish, but apparently it's a collector's item. So don't get that one. That one I'll leave for the collectors. But the other ones I got, they're like 15, 20, $22. They're going to be absolutely perfect for, serving a dessert, apple crisps, for making chicken pot pie, or I don't know, shepherd's pie. Who knows? And I think that would be great. So, follow me for that. I think yeah. So Facebook disconnected from my website also. Like electronics, it's like digital stuff. It works until it doesn't. And you can't rely on anything. Don't ever think that, oh, I did this, now I don't have to worry about it. No, you have to double check everything all the time. Also, my newsletter is going to be coming out next week with all these tomato recipes that I'm working on. I don't think I'll put the dehydrating tomatoes in, because that's, to me, it speaks for itself. Tomato candy. And, but I'll have all the other tomatoes. I want to come up with like 2 easy recipes this week too. But I don't know, imagine a recipe with these. Mm-mm. Did you know also that we can't really put sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil, like my super dried tomatoes? It's not shelf stable, I think, unless I use a pressure cooker to make it shelf stable. So it seems to be a theme. Whenever you make anything, it has to go in a pressure type cooker. Because I was thinking I'll do my my spaghetti sauce. You can't. You need there's meat. It needs to go in a pressure cooker. So darn. But yeah. Hey, thank you for coming. Thank you for saying hi. If you have questions, I'm super easy to find. If you do one of my recipes, add a comment, ask me a question below. I see the comments, and I can answer pretty much anything, or on Facebook, or I don't post as much on Instagram, but still I would answer there. And here on YouTube, I do see the comments and I do try to answer you guys. So I hope you enjoy my little doodad on tomatoes and the safety of tomatoes. It's super, super. Oh, you know what I want to do before I go? Discovered this little trick, babies. So I'm going to show you something super fun that I discovered. I'm going to bring you guys with me. And I want to share this super fun trick. So see here. Yeah, you're going to see this. Maybe if I put you far enough. Okay. My head might get cut off, but who knows? So look, you have a tomato. and you want to sun dry it, or there's a roast it. You don't want the core. See how the core is super meaty and like weird dry? And I'm like, okay, so I tried to use a knife, right? It wasn't fun at all. And often you have to remove this part, okay? So I said, oh, I'm going to use a melon, melon baller. But I didn't. So I'm using my spoon, a measuring spoon. I go in, whoop, whoop, and I scoop. And because it's metal, I can also take out that at the same time. So I go in, I remove the seeds. Perfect. That gorgeous? Ready for roasting or for dehydrating. That was my trick of the day, people. Silly, but very useful. All right, take care. See you next week.